I bitched and moaned and whined and called the governor's office and called the TV station and got the boat in the water, and then it snowed. That's karma.
Something went wrong somewhere.
Oh yeah, decades ago.
That's funny. That's funny.
How is everybody?
Oh,
is it over yet?
Somebody has a Geezers of Gear background.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Very good. Wow.
Uh-oh. I think I owe T-shirts or something.
Spent like setting this.
What's that?
Anthony's staying on brand.
Yeah.
Merchandising.
Merchandising.
Like the Zoom thing that we're seeing and put it on the. But
who the hell is talking to yourself? Somebody's having a conversation with, like, it's got to be Patrick with his
No, it's not me.
Oh, you're only one person today. Oh no.
I've got my guys with me.
Yeah, there you go.
These guys are really nice. This is my friend Abu and Mohammed and Brian. And I was going to Costco, and they pulled up and offered me a ride. So, but the Costco's really far away.
There's something
man.
seriously wrong with you, dude.
I really liked the Carol Baskin one, bro. Did you see?
You weren't here last week, were you, John?
No.
He just said.
Let's give
John
a taste
from last week, Patrick.
Hold on.
This one is my favorite of any background I've seen on any chat. So you got to watch these.
My demons being disappointed in me.
They're both ragging on him.
Oh my God, that's funny. What the fuck is that?
It's more Patrick's.
This is what everybody wants in life.
Yeah, the problem is you'll actually argue with them, right?
Yeah.
True.
Fantastic.
Good dicks.
Yeah.
I have to say that Patrick was very generous at that shootout. That was very generous donations you were doing.
That shootout was kick-ass. Those guys did a really good job.
You're talking about the Christian shootout thing?
Yeah, it was really good.
So, I mean, anyone who didn't see that was such a cool event.
I didn't see it. What was it?
You know, Patrick, maybe you can quickly describe what went down.
Yeah, is Christian here? Did he come in this week?
I don't know if he's here yet. I don't see him.
Basically, Christian Jackson got together with a group of friends.
He's there.
Oh, there's Christian.
Christian's there.
There he is.
Am I late?
Perfect. Christian, could you just give an overview of the event this weekend for those that didn't get a chance to see it?
Yeah, sure. So this last weekend we
Christian, your mic sounds like shit.
Sounds like shit?
Yeah.
How about now?
Crackly.
It's like all distorted and crackly.
Oh, how about now?
Nope.
It's weird.
It's an insult to shit.
You better
It's an insult to shit. It's that bad.
Lighting guys.
Like, here's shit. Here's your microphone down here.
I had no idea that a VL3K could take a Barrett like it did, but
It was unreal.
that was pretty amazing.
So, Patrick, because Christian is obviously audibly challenged at the moment, can you give us a quick
It's a
description?
lighting guy. No, Christian, talk. Your shit works, doesn't it?
Does it work now? Can you hear me?
There we go.
Is that better?
It's
No.
a little. Anyway.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
They did the ultimate lighting shootout this weekend, and what it was they had gotten a lot of donated, defunct gear, stuff that was destined for the junkyard. It wasn't anything that would have been useful. They got a ton of it. They went out to this undisclosed location in the middle of Oklahoma on private land, and they did a full-on shooting session, blowing stuff up, and had this all tied into the Live Nation, Crew Nation Relief Fund, so that all funds generated for this on a live stream, which they live streamed to Twitch. And actually, they broadcast from the event to Christian in Seattle, and then he was live on Twitch and broadcast everything through there. He had full sponsorship on there and did really great shout outs to the sponsors in description of what each of them did. And they raised, what did you get? I think we did about 5,000 something total on the live stream itself. Plus there were there were other donations brought in directly on your website, I believe. That.
Yep. Yeah. So our grand total after everything is said and done, I literally just submitted it a few seconds ago, was, let me pull it up here, $10,587.97.
Wow, dude. That is kick ass. The thing was, it was kind of like a Jerry Lewis telethon for, our industry. And, like they put freaking dynamite in what was it? It was like a Sharpie inside a dome, a Tempest dome, and blew the shit out of this thing. And
It was really good to see some of the older units that a lot of us cut our fingers on, literally changing gobos and pulling out color wheels and all sorts of
it
stuff.
was unreal, man.
Obliterated.
The one thing I was bummed about was the Hog 1000. They cut away just as it got blown up, and I was like, "That's the one thing I wanted to see blown up."
Yeah,
And listen, out of all the footage they got, one camera shot went wrong for a group of guys that were putting this together on the fly and did an amazing job.
Yeah.
It was pretty
great.
good.
I got to tell you something. Nils would have probably matched any donation to blow up that one. I went through some teething on the launch of that one, if you recall, Nils, way back in the old Steve Miller days. I'm sure you wanted to blow it up.
Well, this was actually a Jan's Hog 1000. It wasn't an actual whole Hog 1.
Yeah.
Because
And then the
I
funny
think
thing is
I would have put the top money up on that just to not let it get blown up.
Yeah.
Despite the trials and tribulations of the damn thing, so much history behind that.
And
I don't
also-
know, Nils. That was a painful product, Nils.
Yeah,
So
don't
bad
get me
for
started.
the,
Don't get me started. Okay?
Not nearly as badly as those hundreds of Hog
Hey,
3s
test.
that I
Check 1,
sold.
2.
Come on,
That
change the world, man. Change
Yeah,
everything.
well, you want to talk about people stepping up to support their product. Nils, you were pretty good on that one. Those three.
Yeah.
That was after my time. After my time, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what was shocking though, Christian, was how bad a shot some of those guys were. Like, I mean, you'd see a guy firing and he's getting 8 feet away from the light fixture and then 10 feet above it and then 6 feet below it. I was
Everybody
like, holy
thinks it's easy.
shit, man.
To be fair, the crosswind was pretty gnarly.
Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
I didn't see
Yeah.
any flags out there on the range to indicate
There's no
that.
crosswind at 20 feet, I assure you.
Yeah, the trees weren't moving so much. That's all I can say. Yeah. They were a bad shot or they were drunk.
No, they were not drunk. They were actually impressively safe. They started the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
with
No,
the
the safety protocol was amazing.
very, very good. I was very
We didn't want to
Yeah.
give anybody an excuse to go full Karen on us and get it shut down. So,
Yeah. By the way, your mic sounds great now, Christian.
oh, thanks. I don't know. I just
Fixing it.
I unassigned it and reassigned it, and now it works fine.
So, I mean, the bottom line is Christian and friends raised over $10,000. And where did that money go today, Christian?
The Live Nation Crew Nation Fund.
That is amazing, dude. I
Which
mean,
I don't know if they pledged. I think they pledged like $5 million or something for initial funding and then matching funding after that. So I don't know like where exactly we sit.
so it's
in
20
that-
grand basically.
Well, I don't want to say that because there's no way for me to know.
I see.
But that's what they're. That's the hope. I
It is
guess.
Yeah.
intense that they
That's incredible. I mean, the only thing I would say is anybody who's on this, let's try and figure out a way to do half of what he did, because that's just super cool. I mean,
It wasn't just me. I mean, it was. Patrick
I know,
was
Christian, but
instrumental in
you know,
getting
you
the
made it
fire
happen.
stoked a little bit towards the end there.
your mic sounds like shit again. Sorry.
What?
Is it still going to be up on Twitch, guys, to
It's in
view
the
and
chat.
donate?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. Somebody put a link in. Somebody put the link in chat. So
It'll
can
also
they
be on
still
YouTube.
donate though, Christian?
No, I mean, I would suggest going directly to the Crew Nation donation fund.
For those of you who can't hear what Christian's saying because his mic is not very good, he said go to Crew Nation to donate. So
you can do donations directly with Live Nation now, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm watching
Yeah.
this thing. I'm watching this thing now. It's great, but did you guys go like the Stormtrooper School of Shooting? It's like, I mean,
funny.
I see a lot of totally intact lighting instruments still on the other side of the river back there.
It took a while to kill some of those.
Yeah,
I mean, they were
Wiley.
beams. They were studio beams, and those things
Mental,
take a kicking.
mental note: when the zombie apocalypse happens, don't recruit lighting guys.
Yeah. No, but it was funny. There was one scene, I don't remember what lights it was, but there was like 8 lights on the other side of the water, and
Yeah,
like
that's the
10
one I'm
guys
looking
over
at.
here with machine guns, and they're
They
just
haven't
going,
hit one of them.
and none of the lights are even moving, nothing, right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm watching right now. It's total stormtrooper time.
Oh, it was safe.
One of the guys used tracers and set one of those studio beams on fire, which is actually kind of amazing.
That's
It
cool.
was pretty good.
I mean, what an amazing.
I can tell you those will catch fire all on their own.
We've seen it. We've seen it. I remember some of
Really-
those meetings, John.
It was a really great event.
exactly. Remember that?
I do. Are they supposed to do this?
Yeah. I said, well, let's charge extra for pyro.
Yeah.
It's a feature.
And John Lariviere, you're the birthday boy today, and
Happy birthday, John.
you were actually in service at the time, I think. Or no, that was probably earlier, like Studio Color years, when you were getting those calls.
Yeah, Studio Colorado. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
no,
It was
happy
overwhelming
birthday,
on Facebook, actually. So thank you.
Heck just happened.
Sorry.
Christian, is that you again?
No, I muted myself.
That was
Oh.
Patrick.
It was all my shit just firing off at once. I'm sorry. Actually, we can blame that. Brad Nelms was texting me in the middle.
I was going to say, you can blame it on me.
I didn't realize I had a giant speaker hooked up to my phone.
That's funny.
Glad
So
you're
Nils Dearson sent me a thing where they're using drones now to clean buildings and stuff. I think it's another opportunity.
Wow, the future is in cleaning.
This
Well,
is
the
an
present
official
anyway.
thing. It's like in Variety or something.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know what, Nils? All that Stanford MBA, and you're going to end up being a fucking janitor. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I must admit, I've done worse things. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
me too. Me too.
That is true.
Working.
High-tech janitors.
Yeah. So
But this is actual drone concept that is being pitched for real, that they're talking about possibly using drones on Broadway theaters to do the sanitization of seating, which is, I don't know. Half of me thinks that's the most ridiculous fucking idea anybody's ever said, because I'm like, why don't you just put a misting system in if you want that?
Yeah, I mean, where does that really get you? I mean,
Yeah.
Somebody with money.
But the other
came
half,
up with an
that's
idea.
brilliant.
yeah.
They're actually talking about installing the UVC lights in the MTA subway trains.
Yeah, that was another article that hit today.
Yeah, I saw that one today too.
Yeah, and then I want to be on the stand. They're selling suntan lotion.
Oh,
No, they
on
actually
the,
shut
on
they
the
actually
MTA,
shut
they'll
down
be,
the MTA.
yeah, on the MTA, they'll be stolen in the first 32 hours.
That's true. That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll be gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I have an LED company. When we first,
After they got stolen.
oh yeah, when we first started selling LED lamps to hotels, the biggest challenge was how do you keep people from stealing them out of the lamps in the room? And I'm like, really? People do that? It was a huge issue.
No, I have bags of ice for sailing.
What
Well,
the
if they're
hell is going
UVC,
on?
you just let them steal them, take them home, and then they die of cancer.
Yeah, true.
Darwin Award.
Somebody's got a wicked echo.
Have you guys seen what Eric Wade and Mike Nevitt put together at Crossfade?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, go check it out online. It's, you know, they're doing a lot of business in the sports, and so they put together a fixture, you know, UVC fixture, and put it together in a flight case, and they've got orders. I was pretty impressed, and that explains why Mike or Eric haven't been on this call, right? They've been busting their butt, but I would check it out. I'll look for a link.
You
and put it
post
up.
the link, yeah, that would be good.
Awesome.
That would be good. No, I mean, there's a lot of cool things happening. Wiseman, how much do you know about the Katy Perry thing?
Just enough to be dangerous. I know that it's done at the old VER building at E3. Smasher set it up. Baz Halpin was the brains behind the production and putting it together. I would give probably Gene McCullough and Smasher all the credit for putting that together. But it came together really, really well, and we've actually gotten some traction. Look, it's not a business saver. It's just a tiny little bit of cash flow, but I think they've got Usher in there today doing some kind of a corporate virtual reality thing. I have to say, I did watch parts of it, and it looked amazing. The guys did a great job.
It really is amazing.
So that studio is set up, and we're booking it. I was actually talking to Featherstone about doing some corporate stuff in there. We're going to build similar, going to build or are building or finished building in Nashville, New York, Chicago, and Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So, you know, as far as the technical aspect of it goes,
I would never ask that.
I can take you out to lunch.
I would never ask you that, John. Don't worry.
Well, the problem is I might actually make something up and get halfway through it and then go, oh, fuck, I don't know. Right,
Probably
Peter?
Not. Yeah. But the thing is, if you haven't seen it, you got to see this. I think
it's very cool. It's very, very cool.
Of American Idol, right? Is that
yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And basically, I think Matt just posted it. Matt, you're on it today, man.
No, it's actually, this is something that Wiseman was talking about. This is a company in New Hampshire, Port Lighting Systems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're doing like Port Live, which is like a virtual 3D.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool.
There's a few guys doing it. I think so. I mean, look, I think everybody's just looking for some place to find a niche to drive through. You know, we're not the only ones doing it. Although,
but the Katy Perry one is the coolest one I've seen. So
yeah, they did a great job. I mean, look, when you got a guy like Smasher on there, if you guys don't know who he is, he's been involved with U2 from the beginning. He's their director, and now he's been full time with PRG for a while. He's a brilliant, painful son of a bitch, but he does great work.
Yeah. Well, that describes half the people on this call.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what we all run together. Exactly.
He's described all of us.
Well,
exactly.
The brilliant part.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And what else? There you go. Bob Harmon's phone ringing.
Sorry.
It's all good, buddy.
I think I'll
answer it. It might be a
somebody's
gig.
phone is ringing.
Did anyone see the Tom Ross op-ed on Billboard?
I did not.
No, I would love to see that. Tom Ross is a good dude, smart guy.
I sent it to you, Marcel, in Facebook. If there's a way you can. He's basically saying add 50 cents to every ticket and use it to pay the touring personnel that don't have a union affiliation, to give them health insurance and benefits. And, it's just kind of like a...
Is this the Tom Ross from ICM, CAA?
CAA, yeah.
Well, he was at ICM.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself.
Yeah, no, sure. It's a really short read. It's actually a really smart article, and it's a way to look out for us independent people who don't have a union affiliation or a company.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That's way long overdue. This just pulled the sheets back, and the people that are the backbone of this industry, the working man and working woman who are out there doing it from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. basically are fucked right now, and it's wrong. There needs to be something better happening.
Yep.
Can I add something to the charity thing?
Please.
Can you hear me?
We can.
I'm working for the Light Power Collection, and we are selling new press and fine art prints. Maybe some of you know. I know that Matt knows.
Yeah.
And we are donating all the proceeds to, for example, backup and behind the scenes and Crew Nation. So if maybe somebody wants to check it out, it's a real interesting project.
Go ahead and post the link in the chat.
Yes, I will. It's really hard thing.
Yeah,
you get some amazing art. You get it's beautiful prints.
Yeah. Also, Dearson is doing some swag that he's donating. I don't know what part. I don't want to give away your money or anything, but I know you're donating something.
Well, for the longest time, over 2 years, we've been trying to do an online store and have just been too busy to do it. Now we don't have that excuse at all. So we decided to dive into it. And we were all set to launch this on Sunday. We actually launched it a little earlier than we had planned to, but the lighting shootout with Christian stuff seemed like an appropriate place. So part of our sponsorship of the event was all based on unveiling the online store, and then we realized like one of the better things would be to do a donation item. So we're doing Crew Nation shirts, and 100% of the proceeds go to the Crew Nation fund. So we've been, I can post that
awesome
in a minute. Yeah, we got slightly overwhelmed with it, which was great. A great problem to have.
You sold both large shirts that you made.
Both of them that we had, yeah.
All two.
Your 2 large ones and your 2 mediums sold
All
right
of that
away. You
is
sold out
rectified
completely.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
All the
I
orders.
bought one. I can
one of the
say it's
coolest
probably one of
ones.
the very first times I've bought a piece of swag. So
Thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah, no, I'm trying to buy everybody's swag. So keep popping swag up and I'll buy it.
But yeah,
I will say, the Crew Nation thing I'm a little disappointed at because they've closed applications down and said on the 18th they were opening it, and it's now the 20th. They still haven't.
Did they really?
Yeah. So.
I noticed that too.
And
it's kind of a shitty deal.
Music Cares has limited their stuff now to they won't cut you a check. They will pay your bills for you, which means the application you need to put in what you owe to every creditor, and it's getting really
wow. Really? That's it's treating you like a child.
Yeah, it's kind of like applying for a PPP or an EIDL loan.
You know, the Crew Nation one, I was involved in the peripheral one that through some of the guys on the board with Live Nation, where they would send me, because you know when they were talking about doing that, there was a lot of guys on the PRG tours that they wanted to vet and they want to make sure that guys were getting the money that deserve the money and the right. So I got a whole wave. I put word out to all of our guys, and I got a wave of people who gave me the information and what they did, and then I sent it into Live Nation. I said, look, if you come across these are legitimate. These are guys and girls that need to be taken seriously and paid. There's no problems with these, and they paid every one of them.
So what he's saying is just send emails directly to John and
fuck,
make sure
yeah,
you
great.
get paid, everyone.
I mean, the issue
hang
is,
on, I'll post John's private information.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how other LDs are dealing with this, but my tour managers and production managers work for multiple camps, and if they were getting flooded by all their crew to vet us, it's just that's going to be a job in itself. So
well, I'm telling you what, it wasn't. I don't know how many guys you got, but that we had 5,000 people that got laid off in one day, not directly being paid by us, but sometimes through PRG payroll, or we were associated with them and they were with the tour. Even if they weren't on our payroll, I did confirm that that's who that person was. That's the tour they were on, and this is the length and the duration. So, I mean, I have to tell you, it was a very steep hill at the very beginning, but since I don't have a fucking thing else to do, I was glad to help.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it open back up again or no?
I don't know.
It is not.
Not right now.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I actually.
So you think they burned through 5 million that fast? Yeah, probably. Because it wasn't a lot of money to each person. It was like $1,000 or maybe $2,000. I mean, it was meant to be, a Band-Aid, not surgery.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the problem with the perception of a lot of these things. As you say, John, these are just a little bit of relief. They are not a cure to your financial woes.
Yeah.
And I think people kind of take it like, well, where the hell's my big payout that someone's supposed to be taking care of me right now? And it's just not designed to do that.
Well, that's called your savings account that you've hopefully put away and been an adult and save some money, a little bit at least. When you got 3 or 4 different avenues to get some help, that's supposed to help mitigate the problem, not fix the problem.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So I'm reading, sorry if my mic's still fucked up, but I'm reading on the Live Nation website saying a new application window will open the week of May 18th for people who will be financially impacted by shows scheduled to take place in May.
That's 2 days ago.
Yeah, the week of.
Well, at least where I am. In Nevada, that was 2 days ago.
Yeah, so they still got a couple days.
New York, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
They've got 2 more days to fuck it up.
Yeah.
John, I mean, if you could just even fire off an email to someone and just say, hey, you know anything about this? A lot of people are asking me. And
Yeah,
then
I'll do it right now.
just send me the response and I'll send it to everyone here.
You got it, buddy. I'll do it right now.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's just, you know, that money could help with rent for the month. You know, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Got it. So what else is going on, people?
I'd like to say that I had a gig last week.
Wow.
You remember I had to leave the call early, and I had an unexpected meeting at the FBI in Honolulu, and I lit the FBI building for Police Week. Police Week, it's basically for those who've fallen in blue, and that's what they wanted the building. And 12 hours later, it was done.
And we had a charity.
5 days. Yeah, they helped me some. That's good.
Yeah. No, I meant it wasn't charity to them.
Oh, no.
Because I know a lot of people are being asked to do those kind of gigs that are free, though. You know.
It was nice to have a gig.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
And it was a great occasion to do.
Yeah, that's cool. One of the things I'd like to announce is I actually have on the podcast on Friday, Idis. That ought to be
He's fantastic. What a great
It's going to be an
guy.
interesting one, though. It's going to be like bing, 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 bouncing off the friggin' wall. So, yeah, I'm going to take meds, I think, just before.
Why don't you give them to him?
I've already asked him to make sure that he's, you know, no, Idis, you behave, all right?
He's a great guy.
He's not flying to you, is he?
Hell no.
That's when he needs it most.
Yeah, hell no. No, he was trying to get me to do it live. He said, have you ever done the podcast live? Let's do it live. Come on. I'll only do it if we're doing it live.
Fuck it, let's do it live.
But I said, you know what? I really don't know how to do it live. And I'd have to like call Christian and get in line with him. And I'd have to go buy a 20-minute consulting service with Christian for like $400 or something. And can we just do it recorded and I'll put it up as quick as I can? And he said, okay. So it should be a trip. Marsha, do you remember that time at the Light Fair show in New York when Idis came in and posed as a flaming gay guy for Mark Etkovich? Mark Etkovich booth. So we had this LED booth, and we had this guy named Mark Etkovich who was a sales guy for us. And so Idis calls me and he goes, hey, I'm going to come in. Don't blow my cover, all right? You don't know me. And I go, okay, what are you doing? And he goes, don't worry about it. You don't know me.
Yeah, don't worry, you'll know.
So he comes in and he's this flaming gay dude, you know, very flamboyant gay guy, right? And he's saying, I want lights, and I can't remember what was he building? Something really weird, like a bowling alley in his living room or something.
Something pretty ridiculous. He had
pretty
Mark
lights,
going
and he
for
wanted
quite a while.
He wanted nice sparkly sheets to hang up around so they'd reflect the light. And Mark's going, yeah, we could do that. And he's looking at me going, what the fuck? It was so funny, man. I could hardly keep a straight face through that.
Ironically, that would be a career-ending stunt today.
Yeah.
Idis is one of the king practical jokers for sure.
He definitely is. Yeah.
He's a great guy, Marsha. I mean, everybody, if you guys don't know him,
of course he is.
Idis is one of the best handshake stand-up dudes I've ever met.
He is. Totally know him. In fact, I've visited them at Mainlight in Maryland, except, you know, that was about 1,000 million years ago.
Yeah.
I did a deal with him one time. There was an account I really wanted to get, and I was in there fighting for it. I think it was the first big one when I had just left High-End and went to XL Video, and it was very important that I get this job. And so there was a specification on there, and it was Idis's main light curtains when they first came out with the 100 millimeter pitch on them, right? And so the company that was competing had told the production people that they actually had the product in hand. And I called Idis and I said, have they made an order yet? And he said, they've called, they've talked about it, but they haven't made an order yet. And I said, so there's 6 of them for this show. And he said, yeah, that's right. I said, so they haven't placed an order yet? And he said, no, they haven't. I said, okay. I said, what's your production for the next 6 months? He says, I can make 24 of them total. I go, I'll buy them all. He goes, you're kidding. I go, no, I'll buy them all and I'll be there tomorrow. So I took a red eye out and I looked at it and I wrote him a check. It was several $100,000, and then I just sat back and waited. And the production manager called me and said, "Hey, we're going to give this job to these guys." And I said, "Well, they're missing a key ingredient." He goes, "No, they said they have it." I go, "Well, they don't." And he said, "No, I've got an email that says that they have it." I go, "Well, then you better print the email out and be prepared to hold that behind the fucking band because they don't have any. I bought them all." And he goes, "Really?" He goes, "Oh, I forgot, Wiseman. You know how to play this game." I went, "What?" And I ended up with that client. I've had that client now for 17 years.
You probably still have the soft lead screens too, right?
Yeah. I think we donated them to a college or something. But I was just like, he's like, "Sure, I'll do this, but you got to pay me." I'm like, "Okay, let's do it."
Idis is also very, very benevolent. He was a great support for me one year. I did for like 20 years lighting the Lumen Awards in Manhattan. And Idis and Mainlight came and set me up with my whole lighting rig. Giovanni came up and programmed. It was really great, but he was a tremendous support for that.
Him and Giovanni, the whole little camp up there was a great little family, really good, solid people.
Good dudes. So,
indeed.
I remember one time, I think it might have even been the first time I met Idis. I think Craig took me up there, and we ended up going out and playing golf. And, I think everyone knows Idis has Tourette's, but Idis was like faking, I think. Every time I tried to take a backswing, he'd go, "Ah!" And I'd be like, I mean, seriously, dude, this can't be by accident. It's every time I take my club back. And he's like, "No, what do you mean? I didn't do anything." And I'm going, "Craig, what do I do?" And Craig's like, "I don't know. I don't know what you should do." I mean, it was intense.
And every time you'd give him a quote, he would throw that out there, and his timing was perfect. It made me think, he used it to his advantage pretty well.
Of course he did. Idis is not
totally used it to his advantage. Totally used it to his advantage. So many LDIs, he'd have people rolling.
Yes.
Yeah. So I find it very funny that, Roel, that you're soldering some sort of a device here that's going to change the DMX world forever while you're on the happy
hour. Try to get rid of the DMX. So the job, it's not done in 5 minutes. So it's 24 hours.
I see. Even while you're in a happy hour. Hopefully you're not drinking. There you go. Good.
Well, there goes those joints.
Yeah, I don't know why my fixtures aren't working. Well, it was this one night. Yeah. David Barber, what's going on Broadway?
Nothing's going on Broadway.
Nothing.
Frozen closed.
Yeah.
Which was a big thing.
Yeah.
I think January will be the earliest possibility to see shows again.
Has Frozen been running? There's been a show.
No, but they closed it. It's not coming back.
Yeah, but
John, you've had the show. Y'all had the show. Darren had the show.
Yeah, no, but when he said close, I thought I didn't know he meant like closed up forever. I thought it was like it just closed. I'm like, where the hell have I been?
No. They just shut it down. They decided that of the 3 Disney musicals, it was the underperformer, and that whenever Broadway comes back, there'll be room for 2 Disney shows, but maybe not 3.
Wow.
Somehow I was under the impression they were hoping to open in September. Is that like totally a misnomer?
Yeah, they keep kicking the can down the road, but nobody believes that September is going to be when it happens.
I think that the culturals will be in line with Broadway, and I got an email last week from the Brooklyn Museum extending the run of the Studio 54 exhibit to November.
Yep.
So I don't know how that's all going to play out. And there's also the first tour of the exhibit announced, going to the Toronto Museum of Art. We'll be there for like 6 months in 2021.
So the reason I heard is Live Nation, this is not announced, but there's some rumblings in the background of they're just saying, look, we're going to probably stick a fork in it until 2021. Just cancel every single thing they have out there, which is, kind of being the ever hopeful person that I try to be. That's like a punch in the stomach. Now, there's the other side of the fence that says, well, they're probably just doing that so they can renegotiate the deals, because when they made the deals, you could have 100% capacity. They don't know what's going to happen. I've got 3 shows that are supposed to start in like late August, September, October that are still marching very, very hard forward to happen. I think a couple of those are Live Nation shows, and then I'm still like putting my logic hat on, saying if the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention, if those guys do it, of course it'll be for their own best interest, but you know, that's the only reason they would do anything. Then it will run downhill to us, right? So a lot to be worked out, but you know, and Coachella is still on, and they're vehemently demanding that they are going to go. 6 months away though.
So Live Nation doesn't do Coachella?
No, that's Golden Voice, which is part of AEG.
Yeah.
John, I do have a question. How is Live Nation reacting to all these states opening up against the government, saying, you know, having that 14-day decline and all that stuff? Are they willing to you know, posture and maybe like change their thought process?
Well, yeah, it's an ever evolving thing, Matt. Every day, you know, this thing, it's a moving target. Where they're at right now is they're talking, you know, they're leaning more towards the drive-in shows, which I think is just to kind of keep people busy. But they're also really looking at doing some pop-up shows and just testing the water to see how it goes. So that way you're not betting the whole bank on it. I don't think they were involved in that Christian show. And you guys, somebody on here knows who it was. It was a lead singer of a Christian band who was going to play a 1,000-seat theater with 260 or 270.
Oh yeah, one in Arkansas. What is that?
Yeah,
Travis McCready.
Yeah. And I don't know if that happened or not. Did it happen?
It did.
It didn't get very good reviews either.
Yeah.
It's the most depressing looking show you've ever seen.
Like they took photos and it looked empty. You know,
Like, a few people sitting on folding chairs and stuff. It really didn't look like a lot of fun.
It looked like you know what though? About $10 on the design too.
Well, but that's good for us then. You know, it just shows that we actually are required to be an element of the show. So, so Matt, to finish up the question is, there is no answer to that. It's an ever-changing thing. But I'll tell you what, there's no lack of an aggressive stance to try to make this shit happen. You know, my thought today was, if you can't do New York, because New York's talking about staying closed till July or August, right? So if you can't do New York and you can't do LA, because they're basically saying the same thing. So, you know, do you have a tour that goes out and does, you know, Miami, Dallas, not Chicago, a few others, and then play some B markets around it? And if it's successful, then New York and LA have to go, hey, what about us? I mean, they asked to come back into it, right?
Yeah.
So
John, did you happen to see, and everyone else here too, and Patrick's not here today, Patrick Whalen, but Backstage Productions, Patrick Whalen did another one of his roundtable symposium things.
I saw pieces of that. Yeah, I saw pieces of it yesterday. It was good.
Called The Show Must Go On, and it's got, well, this one had Michael Strickland and Jake Berry and loads of people, really, really great people on it. And it got a little heated, and it's, you know, just like all of this, it's sort of politically separated. You know, you got the people over here who say we can't do a show for 2 years until there's a vaccine, and the people over here who say, you know, we can figure this out. Let's go out and try and do something. And
yeah, I mean, look, you've got
charged at times.
You've got to have a business. You got to have something for people to come back to. I mean, you know, look, I'm of the mind of when did this change? I'm sure everyone here has seen that guy for Barstool Sports ranting and raving. The guy made a lot of sense, but the one thing he said that I found hard to take an opposition stance to was, when did this go from we got to flatten out the curve and the hospitals need to not be overwhelmed to we can't do anything till we have a cure?
Yeah.
Where did that jump happen? Right.
Yeah.
Because if it's not till, you know, if it's not, we can't do anything till there's a cure, then we're fucking done.
Well,
sadly, there may never be a cure. There's no cure for a lot of viruses.
There's no cure for AIDS. There's no cure for SARS. There's no cure.
My point exactly, John.
Yeah.
And I think that somewhere between the two extremes, there has to be a middle ground so that businesses can operate sustainably. We can all get back to what it is we do, and we observe certain cautions so that we don't end up fucking dying in the process.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. I
Not
mean,
dying is good.
it's personal responsibility. There's some logic in here. The politics has got to go. You know, it's just got to
Agreed.
go.
Well, no room for politics when you're talking about your health. It's either,
Well,
you know.
but we're controlled by politicians. I mean, there's guys that say you can't. How about this asshole that says you can go to the beach, but you can only stay on the wet sand, not the dry sand? It's like,
I haven't seen that one. That's a good one.
How did
it's no different than Hollywood, Florida, when they restricted restaurants and bars, but only after 10 p.m. at night. The virus is not a vampire. It
Well,
will come
you know,
out at daytime.
yeah, and they're talking about the voting, right? It's like, okay, if I can stand in line at Walmart to vote, why couldn't I stand in line at a voting station to vote? I mean, the logic is just come completely unglued on this thing. I mean,
Well,
Marcel was joking about my boat, right? Which is, you know, it's really not a problem, right? But at the end of the day, my wife and we went up and we walked on that brand new Tahoe Trail. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. There was a lot of people up there. People were being responsible. A lot of people with masks, a lot of people without. Beautiful, right? Then you get it ends at Sand Harbor, which is a Nevada State beach. It's open. They're taking money, but yet you couldn't put your boat in the water and launch it. So I called the governor's office and I got the governor's assistant on the phone, and I just said very calmly, I said, look, if your boy wants to be reelected, he's got to start having some logical thought applied to these things. And I know you guys are busy, and I know that you're, you know, paddling as fast as you can. However, the stupidity of not being able to float on a boat and read a book, but I can go to the beach and I can go, you know, you guys, you're blowing it. And so,
yeah, well, I've got another one, John. This one's equally stupid. So they're starting to open racetracks, and, you know, again, my kid is a driver.
Yeah.
So we were looking to go to, I can't remember if it was Mid-Ohio or Barber, but one of the tracks we were looking to go to do a test. And we missed the window by like a minute because they were only allowing 12 cars to register, and they would only allow 6 on track at a time. And I tried to get someone to explain that to me. You know, these cars are going 140, 150 miles an hour. And the track is 2.5 miles long.
Well, Marcel, they can't explain what they don't understand themselves.
6 cars on a track at once. Like, I don't even understand the logic. Like, is someone going to get sick from sniffing your exhaust from, you know, a quarter?
Well, look, I'll take it one deeper, right? I wanted to go down to LA this week because I wanted to sit at my desk, get organized, be thinking, you know, because I'm tired of doing this from the house, right? Yeah. So I had this great idea of, hey, I'll fly down to LA, you know, it'll be okay. I'll go to the office. So I called and they said, look, by county law, we can only have 8 people in our building at once. Your fob to get in and out of the building no longer is valid. They're coming to check us. Now, this is a 250,000 square foot building. And somehow they've said 8 people can be in there. So, you know, me being me, I'm like, well, look, that's bullshit. Just let me in the back door. I just want to go to my desk. There's nobody in there, right? And they said, look, the only way we can do this is you got to let us know when you're coming. And one of those guys that we have on board he has to leave. I said, so I got to put a guy out of work to come to sit at my desk. And they said, yeah, basically. And I said, well, I'm clearly not going to do that. That's wrong. Yeah, that's silly. But this is a 250,000 square foot building with 8 people in it, and I can go to fucking Walmart right now. Come on. Yeah. This is where they're going to lose it. All of them. This is where.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I don't want to alarm you, but you must be getting senile because you told the same story last week.
Yeah, well, I'm still pissed about it. I'm still angry.
You're still mad about it. You're angry about it.
I don't want to make you senile, but I wasn't here last week, okay?
Okay, so when was it? Everyone heard this story.
Yeah, it's just I'm still pissed.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that logic is right out the window, and there is no more sanity, and there is no more logic around anything. Common sense is like I don't know what the hell happened to it.
Well, you know, and without getting political, it's on both ends. You know, it really is.
I wasn't
There's
getting
crazy
political.
people on one
I
end,
think
and
it's
there's crazy
universal.
people on, yeah.
I think it's universal, Marcel.
Well, I think that's what happens when you have a dictator. You have one person thinking something through and saying this is what's going to happen, instead of, like, you know, we have legislatures, we have city councils, we have, you know, but
I think that each human being has the ability to rationale and utilize their own personal common sense. And most people, I find, don't have that capacity. Now, this present company notwithstanding, it's probably why I like and hang out with you guys. But most people just don't have that ability, it seems to me.
Yeah. Well, trust me, there's a few people here too. So, you know, I mean, no, but some people absolutely just want to be guided. And other people say, you know what, I can handle this. Like, I've been out to dinner now 4 times since they reopened Florida. Did I feel unsafe at any given moment? No. Did I do anything stupid and touch doorknobs and wipe my face or lick my hands or anything? No. You know, did I get a cough or a sneeze or anything? No. I mean, it's not that hard to go out to dinner and not get sick. It really isn't. You know, it's easy. And, you know, the restaurants got it figured out. They're doing it right. So, I don't know, whatever.
My concern with the restaurants is when they're operating at 25–30% capacity, how long is that sustainable for them?
Well, how long is it sustainable for us to operate at 0?
Well, we're just talking about restaurants right now. I mean, just to isolate it down.
Marcia, you're not crazy, because I heard an interview with a couple of restaurateurs that are like, we have added expenses now. We have to hire a bathroom attendant to make sure one person goes in at a time and cleans. And they have to have the PPE, which is an added expense, and their margins are already so tight.
Well, they are, and your restaurants by and large make money off of the bar anyways. They don't make it off of the food.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't stand at a bar right now. I went out to dinner. I went out to dinner. I've probably been out like you about 4 or 5 times, and it's yesterday. There's and in Nevada, they have the poker machines built into the bar, right? And I was talking to the waitress, and she said, "You'd be surprised. We that's where most of the money comes from, is the poker machines, not from the food or from the alcohol. But also, if you got one person come in and want to play, they can't. Plus, she said, my tips are way down, because if a guy hits, every time they hit a jackpot, I get a huge tip. You know, the cascading domino effect of it is you know, I don't think if I owned a restaurant I could be happy with it 50%, because I didn't build that business on 50%, and I can't charge 50% more.
So I have to tell a funny story quickly. So 2 days ago, I'm driving in a Ford F-150 pickup truck. So there's a car in front of me in the right lane, and they're kind of going like this, right? So I know they're texting. So I get up beside them and I look down into the window, and it's a woman driving with her knees, texting with a mask on.
By herself.
By herself in the car.
And I'm always amazed at people that are driving alone and have on a mask and gloves and glasses, and it's like,
I'm okay with that.
You're in your own car.
But listen, if that's what they feel makes them safe or whatever, I'm totally okay with it. But
so
you're being
weird.
so safe to drive with a mask on in your own car, but then you're driving with your feet and texting and driving like this across the lane. It's just the idiocy of that is just unreal.
Everybody really rags on people for wearing the mask in the car, but what I do find is that nobody actually looks to see that there's usually an Uber sticker there. And if you're an Uber driver, taking this shit on and off every time you get somebody, it's just a pain in the ass. It's easier to just keep it on.
This woman wasn't an Uber driver, I promise you.
These are some people that are like in my neighborhood. I see if I'm on my bike or something. But, you know, to each his own, and I agree with you, to each his own.
I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I don't care if a husband and wife are in bed together with masks on. I don't care. You know, do what you want to do. I'm okay with it. I don't really care.
Well, I've been getting my friends have been sending me the Simpsons joke about the old man yells at cloud. Because I've been yelling at people in public who have their mask around their chin. I'm like, put your mask on. Like, I'm constantly
that
yelling at
one's
people.
funny. Yeah, that one's funny.
My
Although
pharmacist the other day wasn't even like wearing a proper mask, and I was just like, "You're dealing with people who are sick and picking up medication," and you're like,
Yeah.
That goes right back to the logic that's not there.
I had a great
Road
Uber
rage
once.
incidents are up overall out of it, which is pretty interesting. People just losing their
A friend of
mind.
mine, a friend of mine did ask if I knew where he could get a mask that he could put a straw through and do cocktails.
I swear to God, we would be millionaires if we could come up with a mask like that.
Right?
I saw that product. I don't know if it's real, but I definitely saw an image of it. It had a little porthole and it was the whole thing.
And no, Philip, you cannot just cut a hole in said mask.
That's just patented by a Belgian guy.
So I had an interesting Uber the other day getting picked up from the airport, and the guy was there, and he's an older guy, and he's got a mask, but he's not wearing it. And I look at him, I go, "You really should wear the mask, because he's an Uber guy." And he's like, people getting in and out of his car, and he's like, "Well, I have respiratory problems, and it's hard for me to breathe if I wear the mask." And I'm like, I just got off a plane from New York. Does this concern you at all?
If you don't like the mask, you're really going to hate the ventilator experience.
There's actually,
I was just like, really? You just
I've
said
seen
that.
a lot of Uber drivers put saran wrap in between the back of their seats.
Well,
like
they did that in China. That was actually, I believe, one of the requirements in China for the Didi cabs, because they don't have Uber in China. They use Didi, and they were mandating that some sort of barrier be put up between the passenger compartment and the driver compartment, and they started doing that. And that apparently was one of the efforts that they made that helped start to contain things. There was a lot of that. They did a lot of plexiglass barricades at dining tables, on top of the separation of the tables, where you couldn't eat next to somebody, but you had to be at another table away from them at a certain distance. And they would put barriers up in between those tables.
Okay, so I got to bounce it, but real quick, I'll leave you with this last one. I love this. It says, "Dear plexiglass, thank you for protecting me from the masked cashier that just touched every single item I'm now taking home." See you guys later. I got to bounce. Take care.
Bye, John.
John, take care.
Good one.
Bye-bye.
No, it's just weird when you get. I haven't gotten into an Uber, but I've seen somebody get out, and it's just this janky saran wrap barrier. It's just ridiculous.
Well, the saran wrap is probably a lot cheaper than a plexi portal, like all the cabs in New York have behind them anyways.
Yeah, cheap and easy to rip down and replace every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go with a good sturdy $500,000 Visqueen or something.
So Steve Warren and John Rogers, my favorite British folks.
Don't go calling me out, man. I don't have any news for you.
Steve generally a little happier than John Rogers, I've already figured out.
Yeah, John gets very passionate. I mean,
John gets into it.
It's for a good reason. I suppose it's for a good reason. It's quite hard trying to fathom out. God bless him.
Well, I mean, you're sitting there listening to us talk about being out in restaurants 4 times and stuff like that. I mean, you guys aren't even allowed outside yet, right? Like you can go for a walk, I think.
No, not quite. Since last week, man, we were out. In fact, today was the first time I actually went out into the real world for quite a while. Walked down by the Thames River, and there were quite a few people out. It's been like first day of summer here.
Nice.
Yeah, it's busier outside now for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're there, John. Hi, there you are.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I know you're fighting a good fight for all the freelancers, man. There's so many falling through the cracks, and you're just starting to see them put their hands up on social media. It's about how tough they're finding it. Due to the various rules, there's some people who've, quite a lot of them have formed small private companies, paying themselves out of dividends, and they're getting nothing. So they're the ones that are being hit really hard. But there's been some more optimism. I don't know. I'm feeling slightly more optimistic this week. Although my partner told me they're opening up concerts in Italy and then he tells me, well, 200 people inside or 1,000 people outside. You think, well, it's not going to set the world on fire, but it's a start.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe just seeing more people outside lifted me up.
So maybe it'll be like Avo. I don't know what your smallest console is called these days, but a Tiger or a Pearl or something, as opposed to the big one, right?
Yeah.
But at least it's a console.
We have super teeny tiny ones, man.
There you go.
So
There it
guys,
is.
you know, we're talking
Oh, good man,
about
Mr. Rogers.
Adorable,
The
John.
console's at the ready. My God.
I've been
Right
luckily. To be honest, I'm pretty much one of the lucky ones in that. I'm sure
John,
Steve won't mind me saying
smaller
this.
than you here as well, man. They're like,
There you go,
they're
nice.
fitting in your pocket soon.
Well, Steve won't mind me saying this, but like I used to test software for Avo, so I've been doing a little bit of that freelance since the lockdown happened anyway. So I'm one of the lucky ones in that I'm actually physically getting paid to touch a lighting desk still. So that's brilliant. And I went for I'm usually miserable on this, but I went for a 20-mile bicycle ride yesterday, like along one of the little rivers in London. There's loads of little boats and all the geese have got little babies and they're really, really, really aggressive.
Yeah.
But it was just, the sun was out and I met up with a friend and we did a socially distanced thing.
People in the cities seem quite sort of bullshit. They're like, fuck you, I'm not going to be held down. The people in the cities are out quite a lot. I mean, certainly in London.
But you can't do restaurants yet, right?
No, there's no restaurants. Well, restaurants are open for takeout. And I guess we've got about the same number of deaths as you, but like in a country that's like the size of one of your medium-sized states or small states even. So it's just like too close. And I think I've kind of just gone, well, damage is kind of done now.
But John, how can we have the highest death rate in Europe? How did that happen? I mean, we sort of pride ourselves on our health service. We talk about it all the time.
2 words.
And
incompetence.
Because we're a bunch of bullshit bastards who won't be told what to do. That's
Steve, 2 words. Herd
Thank God the Americans aren't like that.
The rules are for everybody else.
Yeah,
I'm going to the pub.
It's not about the pubs are closed, obviously, but it's not about the contagion rate. It's about how many people die once they've got it. I just can't believe it. We're like 11 or 12%, as far as I understand. Germany's down in the 3 years.
Yeah, I guess like you've got
there.
I don't know. I think you've got different likelihoods of getting ill. I think I had a touch of it, but there's no way of knowing. But don't get seriously ill in this country. Don't get seriously ill in Brazil. Say again, sir?
Do you guys not have the antibody tests?
I don't know anyone personally who's been tested. It's just for healthcare professionals, and they can't roll it out quick enough because they were just so flat-footed with the response.
They haven't.
Can you get the antibodies test in the States? I mean, is it?
Yeah. Now you can just get. I can go to like either my doctor or the local store, and they can do the antibody test.
But Chris,
be
careful.
Didn't they just find out that it's like 50% accurate either direction or something?
No, it's 90. It's 90% accurate or something like that. And
depends on which kind of test you take. There's a couple of different ones out there.
So
depends what newspaper you read.
They took that bad one off the market. The FDA did.
Oh, okay.
But the current test they're using is 90%. Is a 90% reading.
So I have a good friend who's a doctor in Philadelphia, and she's like, I don't even trust those tests.
Yeah.
That's a kind of a ridiculous way to be, meaning it's it's like, okay, well, great. You're not going to believe anything. Go ahead, live your life. But
let's try and stick to what we're really knowledgeable about. And so one of the things I wanted to mention is I think that Lowell Fowler is on this call right now. Lowell, are you there?
Yeah.
Lowell.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can.
Hey,
Oh,
Lowell.
damn, I thought I was on mute.
No.
But quite an interesting listen. Yeah, y'all.
Yeah.
So who's been watching any TV? Are you those people that say, I don't own a TV?
No, we got TVs and we got loads of time to watch TV, but I choose not to.
I watched TV.
Yeah.
I just saw the binged Hot Little Lies. What a great series.
I'm trying to still figure out Netflix. It seems to have no rhyme or reason. We just throw it at you, like throwing you a deck of cards. Pick one.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting topic, Lowell, because, and I don't remember if I brought this up last week or not, but all the power in Hollywood is shifting from the agents over to the content producers, basically the people who are kicking these shows out because of all the streaming services. Because Netflix and Amazon, they're all saying, give me more, give me more, give me more. So, we're starting to see some watered down series that aren't that great. Some movies that aren't that great, like those made for Netflix movies are not always so good. Although that one, the Wrong Missy one, is actually pretty funny. The broad is just young lady is completely crazy and, fun as hell. So yeah.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank America for what we do in the shadows, the vampire
that's
series.
good.
I'm big fan. So thank you very much.
Dark Shadows, yay!
I thought that was the New Zealand team that did that. I don't think.
It's
for that.
Yeah, well, it's on Fox. Well, I'm stealing it from Fox because the second series isn't out in the UK. I mean, I'm legally acquiring it from Fox because the second series isn't out in the UK.
Right. Lowell, what are you watching?
Did y'all see The Voice last night? The finale, The Voice.
Sort of.
It's painful. It is so crazy, and even I get up and have my coffee with the Today Show. And everybody doing their shows from their houses. They're in their bedrooms or their living rooms and stuff. And the way that they're putting it together with Zoom, which I presume you are. Yes, I know you are, but I'm not watching it. But it had everybody. They did so many montages and tricks and stuff, and it was just highly entertaining.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean I tried watching that Voice thing last night because it said finale, so I thought, okay, this has to be pretty good, but it just kind of seemed like a bit of an ego play for the judges and stuff. I mean, it really, I don't know, it didn't do anything for me. We were talking earlier, Lowell, about the if you haven't seen yet, the Katy Perry finale from American Idol last week, just completely insanely good. You'd love it because it was very psychedelic, and basically they kind of inserted Katy Perry into a cartoon, an animated, crazy, just really, really cool, super cool.
Good, right? Because she
I'll
couldn't
send
be
you
in
the
the
link.
studio.
Craig, you send him the link.
Are you talking Craig, like Craig Burrows?
Yeah, he's
I
here
will.
somewhere too. He's got a smartphone.
Yes,
There
I
he
will.
is.
I'll send him a link. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Craig, we were just talking about what's the neighborhood you live in, real quick?
Forest Creek.
Forest Creek. Okay.
The golf course, you can't get on it. It's packed.
Is that right? That's what everybody's doing, playing golf.
Yeah.
I hope you're getting out there.
I talked to Mokri a few minutes ago, and he shared, and I'll share it with the group, Marcel. I'll send it to you so you can share it. It's another scientific report about exposures, and it's about, the exposure in time. It's not just about, I touched the disease or the virus, it's about, you got to keep it, it's got to be on you. And he said a lot of it is, of course, this restroom traffic, and it's basically a scientific paper on that. So I haven't read it yet, but I wanted to share it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I just read a thing that it doesn't really live as long as they said it did on different surfaces. So I don't know. They're flippity-floppiting around all the time. It seems like it's Larry, Moe, and Curly that are running the joint. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't get it.
That's why, like, I get it, and I agree with everyone who says listen to the doctors, but don't base your entire life on what the doctors are telling you to do at the same time, because they're not even sure. I mean, they're guessing. They don't know everything about this thing, right? So, they're guessing, and I don't know. I hate to even talk about that stuff because I just don't know anything about it, obviously, but.
Leave the doctoring to the doctors.
Say that again?
Leave the doctoring to the doctors.
I agree with that one. I definitely agree with that one. So I don't remember if I mentioned it last week, but I actually went and did that antibodies test. And I was really, really hoping I was like superhuman and had this, because I was sick in January. I got a flu shot in January, and I was so pissed off because the next week I got the flu and I couldn't get rid of it for 3 weeks. So I was like, first time ever I got a flu shot, and the next week I got the worst flu I think I've ever had. And so I was like, well, maybe that was it. Maybe that was, COVID or whatever. So I did the antibodies test, and of course, no, I never had it. But I was kind of hoping, because I was going to come back on this happy hour and go, hee hee. Has anyone here actually tested positive? No? Yeah.
Thinking about
I was around some people.
I'm
who
thinking
tested
about it.
positive.
Is that what somebody just said?
No. I'm thinking about getting an antibody test.
Oh, I thought you said I'm thinking about getting it.
There's this CMD right down the street, and I could go at 7 o'clock in the morning before there's a line. And
I'll tell you what, I went here in Florida. It's the easiest thing I've ever done at a doctor. I mean, I was from my car back to my car in probably about 4.5 minutes. I mean,
did you have an appointment, or did you just walk in?
I made the appointment the day before by text. I mean, it couldn't have been easier. It really couldn't have been easier. And it was at my family doctor.
Yeah.
So,
I'm getting mine tomorrow, since we did 3 shows in a row with 3 different crews, just to make sure. Hopefully it's easy. They said it should only take 10 minutes.
What shows did
plus Jägermeister knocks down your immune.
I'm not allowed to discuss which shows we have been doing, unfortunately.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, you fucker.
Because he calls me every night when he's like pissed off and I gotta rant with somebody.
Yeah, just one time. One time.
I picked the wrong day to answer my phone.
That's all good stuff, though. The fact that people are, doing stuff. I mean, that's just good news.
Yeah, no, it really is.
I had my first last minute rental today. Somebody called up and was like, "Hey, we need a couple fixtures," and I was like, "Yes,
Yeah, for 90 days credit.
Yeah.
I
I stopped by a couple shops in LA today too. ACDC and a few others, and boy, one person in the whole shop. It was strange days.
It is weird.
When all the trucks are parked there too, it's really strange.
It is.
Yeah. Well, the question is, does all the gear fit in the shop?
Yeah.
Barely. It's to the walls, to the ceiling.
The edges.
Hey, the ACT lighting guys need to be reading Craig Burrows's lips right now, because he's trying to sell your customers a bunch of lights.
We've already spent all the money they
Craig's
have.
phone call right now.
So we have an interesting kind of dilemma here in Wisconsin, obviously, with the legislation, counteracting what the
You live in Wisconsin, Aaron?
Yeah, I moved back to Milwaukee. Yeah. So, but with that being said, we have a big music festival every summer, which usually happens the last week of June, which obviously is postponed. And they've postponed it, which used to be a 11-day straight run festival. They've done it now to September over 3 3-day weekends, which is a whole different format and segment, and it's outside. It's on 70 acres, and they usually put 100,000 people a day in over on 70 acres. Right. So the discussion about number of people really hasn't come up as of yet. But the bigger discussion is, are there going to be enough artists to handle 9 days with 10 stages going on all day long, 12 hours a day? Usually we bring over 700 unique artists through in that time frame. This will probably be down to 550 or so. There's not being enough artists that are touring by September to support that.
Yeah.
And I know what festival you're talking about. I've done it many a times. It's a great time. But nobody's
massive
and ready to do it. Nobody.
Yeah, I just don't understand how they're going to, what it's going to look like. And the fact that it's not going to be over the summer where most people have time off. It's going to be right after
all the bands.
What?
They're going to live stream all the bands. They'll just put up a video wall because nobody will show up.
Well, they'll show up if they discount the beer. If the beer is cheaper, then they'll all show up.
Or if they discount the fried awesome food that they have, like the fried butter. Like, I don't know how that's a thing, but it's.
I don't think anybody in Wisconsin is necessarily worried about the coronavirus, because we're all going to die of obesity anyways, the alcoholism. So it's like they think they're immune to just about everything.
If you're going to go out,
you look angry.
Fried butter's the way to go.
Does anyone
speaking of festivals?
Look at Frank. He looks pissed off. Now he's smiling. He's kind of smirking a little bit. Did you play golf today, Frank? You got to turn your mic on. You still got to turn your mic on.
Oh my
God! I was following your instructions, so.
I didn't play today, but yesterday I did indeed.
Good for you. Yeah, following you and Eric on Facebook, it's like every day you guys are playing golf.
No, I went yesterday, 5:45 in the morning.
Holy shit. Yeah.
First one out. So
Which course?
It's Rusty Canyon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Your hair's getting a little shaggy, Frank.
I know. I'm gonna let it go, man.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I probably would say that's not a good idea.
I'm just gonna fucking be a hippie. Okay?
I just think you should probably get it cut. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying. I'm your friend, Frank. I think you should cut your hair.
Don't listen to him, Frank. Trust me. Enjoy it while you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
And you?
Did anyone see Cosmo's flying pictures yesterday?
That was fantastic. Who?
I want video or it didn't happen.
Cosmo, what field are you flying out of?
Where is Cosmo? He was just here a minute ago.
Did we lose him?
Oh, maybe he just hung up right when I called him out.
Yeah, he's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Probably flew out of range.
Yeah, he was here a minute ago. He's gone.
Who's the one who posted the photos of Disney from a plane? Was that Gumper?
Oh, there's Cosmo.
Sorry, I'm back.
Cosmo.
Hi, guys.
Tell us about the flying yesterday, man. That looked rad.
Yeah, yesterday was a great day. It was nice to get out of I mean, I love being home.
You did a little more than get out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It looked insanely cool.
We flew up to Jacksonville, then we went down to Flagler, then back to the home airport and had lunch. And it was a big day.
How many miles is that?
I didn't count, but about 2 hours of flying.
Nice.
And so was that something that anyone could do with just, a pocket full of dollars, or was it like a special thing that somebody said, hey, I can do this for you?
Well, it's the Commemorative Air Force, which used to be known as the Confederate Air Force. It's their main headquarters is in Texas, but they have, I think, 85 wings around the country, and each wing has, some of them don't even have any airplanes, but most of them have several airplanes, vintage, some World War II. We have about 5 aircraft at the one here in Florida. It's the Florida wing. It's located in DeLand, and you have to be a member of the national. I mean, I've flown in the the B-29 B Fifi. I've been in that. I've been in a bunch of planes. If you're a member, you get to fly from time to time. And in your local wing, they actually have. You can fly. If you're a pilot, you can fly. You kind of have to pay like fuel and stuff like that. But they do give rides, especially to new members. And Joe Lonke, who's the sound engineer for Billy Idol, he is an accomplished pilot, and he's actually that particular plane, the T-34, has to be flown to keep up the hours on the plane, the airframe. Plus, he has to fly the plane to keep current in it. And then anytime new pilots come in, he has to give them a check flight to make sure they know how to fly it, and then after that they can fly it. So yeah, I mean, pretty much if you're a pilot, you can fly it. You just have to pay fuel, and you have to be checked out in it. But if you're not a pilot in it, there's a lot of pilots that aren't checked out in it, like myself. So I can fly in it as long as he's flying in it, and if we split fuel, stuff like that. And that particular plane doesn't use that much fuel, but stuff like that.
It wasn't very expensive to do what you did yesterday.
Yesterday was about $80 to do what we did.
Holy shit!
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Aren't you commuting the shows in that thing? Who wants to fly with United? Fuck.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Well, but I mean, you get stuff like the bigger engines and the jets and stuff. I mean, they just go through the fuel. I mean, for instance, like a Phantom. There's 2 flying Phantoms, and they go through like $15,000 for a couple of hour flight. They're like $8,000 an hour.
Wow.
That particular plane is about, gas right now, even avgas is only $2.99 a gallon. So we went through about 25 gallons yesterday, 30 gallons. So it wasn't even 80. It's like $40-$50 an hour.
And they don't charge you at all to rent the plane or anything.
No, it's because the wing owns it. You know, we have 60 members, and then the National Confederate Commemorative Air Force National brings us planes that we can use, and then there's some planes we have that we just can't fly in, that somebody owns it, but I'm not gonna say they donate it to the wing, but they store it there and let the wing use it. But it's more
very cool.
not as easy.
Very cool.
So I mean, yeah, Patrick, you should come down and visit Joel, and I'm sure he'd take you flying. I'm sure he'd take
Yeah,
anybody.
no heartbeat, man. That's way cheaper than going up in my helo.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
That's less than the ammunition.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes, sir. Well, that's cool.
Hey, Marcel, I wanted to ask Craig a question. What do you think is going to happen with Austin City Limits Festival this summer?
I think it's so far a go because it's in October, you know, just like Coachella, where Wiseman's so saying that Coachella is a go. And there's things that are going to start up. Crazy enough, I mean, there's things that we're still knowing that are happening and haven't been canceled, which is, you know, the Allegiant Stadium opening. And that's Garth. That's the 22nd of August. So,
okay.
You know,
I didn't know it was October. I thought it was
ACL and EDC and Lock-In and missing one other, but you know, those are all October dates. So
South by Southwest is canceled or was postponed?
It's canceled. Yeah, it's canceled. Yeah, some
You know
people have
Garth
actually.
is still on at Allegiant?
Pardon me?
You said Garth is still on at Allegiant?
Yeah.
I just saw a thing this day that said that they laid the turf, so they're still trying to be open by July, but I know that's the first event.
That's
good
the
to
first
hear.
event. I'm just guessing, but I would think that they're probably obviously going to do social distancing, but probably broadcast it, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe HBO or somebody or Netflix, somebody's going to announce it, and they're probably funding it to offset the participants not being there.
Yeah, I listened to a thing yesterday about how they're doing it with sports. You know, they're contacting season ticket holders, and you know, they're going to the most senior season ticket holders and saying, hey, you have 8 tickets, you can have 4. And, you know, they're just figuring it all out right now.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
Such a complicated process.
I can imagine Live Nation and AEG as well as the smaller promoters, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the problem. I mean, I think in some cases it's easier to say no than it is to figure out your way to yes, you know?
Yeah.
And so
open doors a day early and let people start getting in and test it, or, you know, temperatures, whatever, you know, get your mask on. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you could just open the doors 3 weeks early, quarantine everybody, do a show, and then send them home. Or do a show, keep them for 3 weeks, and then send them home.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
That
As long
sounds
as
like
there's fried butter there.
That's a destination festival. Yeah.
That sounds.
Just think how much money you can make on toilet paper and beer.
And tents, because you got to put them up. They could just sleep there.
Wow, these are great ideas.
That's a missed business opportunity. I think the Live Nation's really not caught on to is you just sell toilet paper. You just don't stock it in the bathrooms. Just sell it per sheet. I think probably make up the ticket sales there.
Like a truck stop in Germany.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that in a stadium in Costa Rica, selling toilet paper outside the porta potties.
Really?
God. Oh my God.
That
wow. Is this what we've become?
We have to ask Howard Ungulator about pay toilets.
Yes, he told me that story.
Probably has the most epic story.
That is a pretty fun. That's not quite as epic as his horse story.
The horse story, yes.
The horse story is, you know, still
his,
one of my favorites.
His episode of Geezers of Gear is absolutely the funniest one.
It was a pretty good one. It's a good one.
Story about a polar bear chasing his ass down in Canada when they did the Molson show up there.
Yeah. I never heard that one.
Yeah. Ask him about the polar bear story. It's a good one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he has some pretty epic stories. Fantastic.
Yeah, we're a funny industry for that, you know? I mean, the stories that people are willing to tell anyways, like I'm always trying to explore and find out what people are willing to tell. And it's not everything, Patrick, as you proved to us. I tried to get your military stories out that you just absolutely wouldn't share, but
Some stuff
He
you just
thinks
don't
this
want
is the beginnings of a book here, guys.
I know everybody's asked if I'm going to write a book about it.
Indeed.
I've thought
Memoirs from behind the scenes.
yeah, getting that stuff approved is always the tricky part. So you kind of have to have enough made up shit in it to fluff it fiction as opposed to a true story.
Yeah, I think that's called the beard.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is that, I'm thinking of selling my podcast for $100 million because Joe Rogan did it yesterday. So I think I can.
Did he really?
Yeah. Well, he didn't sell it. He just did a sponsorship deal with Spotify yesterday for $100 million. So the Joe Rogan podcast isn't going to be on Apple or YouTube even. It's not going to be on YouTube anymore. It's only going to be on Spotify. $100 million. Wow. Yeah.
That's just on Spotify?
Yeah.
I think they may have overpaid.
Well, I mean, but the numbers that he gets are just outrageous. It's like 20 million people per episode or something. It's crazy.
Sirius must be doing very well.
Yeah. Crazy numbers. What else? Anything fun? Anybody got something stupid to tell us? A joke?
I think I'm out of stupid shit.
I am running really low on stupid shit at this point.
Rob Gibson's got all the great dad jokes. So
Rob I had on my podcast today, so it will be uploaded tonight. And I can attest to the fact that he's got some stupid jokes.
Did he bounce out?
Rob here? Rob was here.
Here.
No, he's showing an empty chair right now. He's like out loading a truck or something.
Yeah, he's in the warehouse somewhere. I don't know where. Rob!
Rob, they're talking to you.
Where the fuck did he go?
He's pooping.
Oh, he's on.
Yeah, keep track of your people.
You're being summoned. Oh, you're being summoned. He's walking.
Let's talk about something else now, so that when he comes back, it'll be like, "What are you talking about?"
He's walking back to his terminal right now.
Yeah.
Rob, you back on?
I'm back on.
Good. Moment over. Sorry, we're moving on to something else. So, Marcel, what were you saying?
Go.
Yeah.
We heard you had good dad jokes, and we're out of other material, so we figured we'd roll over to you.
Oh, I don't know about on the spot. I got to sort of research and find my Reader's Digest and dig deep.
All right, we'll go back to packing that truck. When the moment hits, come back and interrupt.
So today on Geezers of Gear, Rob gave away his source of his jokes that go on to Facebook.
And I'm sorry if anybody takes offense to the dad jokes. I was just trying to lighten the room up a little, I guess.
We love them.
I love them.
Oh, they're outstanding.
Yeah.
Funny. The one today about the radio was hilarious.
Well, what's funny is that was actually from like a few days ago. It just.
Oh, was it? I don't know. I'm a little behind.
Yeah.
I'm slow.
Yeah.
I'm a bit slow.
Yeah.
So Marcel, with the podcast, do you see your numbers going up with the lockdown?
Of course, through the roof. Why, you got 100 million? I'll sell it to you. Today only, $100 million.
Have you had
slight discount even?
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
No, it's been very good. It's yeah. I mean, obviously, everyone has more time to sit around and stuff, but so Cosmos here, I'll blow smoke up his skirt a little bit. So Cosmos podcast, I think this month in May is averaging somewhere around 40 downloads per day. And he did that like 3 or 4 months ago. So, I mean, that's how this works. These things are in perpetuity. Wiseman's still getting 20 downloads a day and his has been up there since last year sometime.
That's a great interview.
Even Lowell Fowler and Craig Burrows are still getting downloaded. So, yeah. No, that's the funny thing. I mean, you put it out there and someone finds it at some point. So, yeah. But I will sell it for 100 million anytime someone comes forward.
Do you have a long-term plan, Marcel? It's pretty well put together.
Well, it wasn't really a very long-term plan, Lowell. I'd be lying if I told you it was. Really, it was kind of just an idea to say, hey, maybe we could sell more gear if we put up a podcast. And then it quickly became about people, not about gear. So, and I'm perfectly happy with what it's become. I really must say that I super enjoy absolutely every time I get to record one of you guys or somebody else or girls. You know, it's just really fun having these conversations, and every week is a pinch me moment, you know? So yeah, anyways.
It is pretty fascinating. Everybody's stories. It's really great. Like particularly with people that you're either certainly not close to, or in some factors, to be honest, you have people that you don't particularly care for doing business next to, but to hear their backgrounds and how they got involved in what they do is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Is really, it's about the people. It's not about, I don't care about the rock stars you've met. I don't care about even what gear you use. For me, it's just about the people and your stories and where everybody came from. Like even today, Rob Gibson was, I didn't know an awful lot about him. I've never, like we talked about it today. We were like, we've never really done business together. And, because I was always like a CEO, I didn't get to deal with customers. I didn't get the fun part. And so, yeah.
The fun part?
Well, I like that. A lot of the guys, that even some who are on here, I got to do business with because it was while I was an account executive or account rep or a sales guy. But, now I don't get to do that anymore. So quit picking on me anyways, Patrick. Pick on you. You got 3 of you there. Figure something out.
You talk to them. The dicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing to offer. At least nothing nice.
Yeah. Oh, Aaron Burroughs is stealing your clients again. Look.
He can have them.
Yeah. I want 1 light, and I want it at a discount.
Another CEO in the making.
And I want 12 months to pay, please. Yeah.
So for Christian, did you see your numbers going up like crazy, probably?
Not crazy, but I've been on a pretty steady increase. I don't know what can be attributed to recent events.
You have it all figured out, Christian.
I'm figuring it out on the way. That's for sure.
Well, the recent events, your mic's working now.
Yeah, you sound.
I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
Maybe look up a podcast about installing a mic.
Maybe your roommate quit downloading porn for a minute or something.
Yeah, it must have been. The bandwidth has opened up. We got full speed ahead.
There you go. So, yeah, I'm running out of things to talk about. I don't know about you guys and girls.
I had a question. Like in Europe, we see every small business pivoting towards UVC light. Is it the same in the States?
It's becoming quite popular, and I think either Brad or Aaron could talk a little bit about that because I know they're dying to. Come on, guys.
Oh, and of course, this is
I don't want to get into a sales thing, but yes, we have UVC products. They're becoming popular in the U.S. We're getting a lot of traction. And I don't think we're going to be the only ones that have them in the next few months, but who knows?
Yeah.
But yes, it's absolutely an avenue that people are exploring. I think it was mentioned earlier that there was an article that came out today that the subway systems in New York, they're installing UVC.
Yeah.
So it's definitely getting out there.
Yeah. No, it works too. I mean, there's loads of articles that say it works. See you, Cosmo.
Bye, Cosmo.
No, it absolutely works. It's a technology that, everyone says works, but I know that there's a couple people, and I don't know if Chris Asen, are you still here?
Yes.
So Chris actually had some experience using some UVC stuff and reached out to me and told me, hey, this stuff does work, but it's very dangerous and it's got some downside. So you want to mention any of that stuff, Chris?
Not really.
No.
No. I mean, the guys from ACT know all the stuff that we pretty much know as well. And it just comes from all the years that we were goofing around with it. There is a lot of danger in it. But obviously there's got to be steps put into place and a system of how it works and who gets to use it, all that good stuff, just like any kind of fire marshal would want to see, or any OSHA or any, insurance company wants to see. And that's not just getting the lights. You got to know how that system is going to be sold to that fire marshal or whoever is safety inspector, building inspector. That's the bigger problem. It's not just getting the light and
but the stuff I'm talking about, Chris, like you were mentioning to me, that it causes problems with Mylar floors. It causes with cabling, cracking and stuff.
Yeah,
cheap cracking.
Yeah, cheap cabling. God, we even saw it on paint, some bad paint on walls. Some rubber reacted bad to it. Some knobs on certain like dental chairs, we saw cracking up after a lot of use. So there's a lot of downsides to it. And we think it was because of the older fixtures that we had used at the time, which pulled off a lot of ozone, but we have no way to really know how that worked without testing it multiple times with multiple, same scenario kind of thing.
We have our first fixtures landing here in the U.S. from Lexibel here pretty soon, and that's going to be very telling in a lot of this kind of stuff for everybody. But we are also going to be releasing it if anybody wants to just educate themselves this week on social media. There will be a video that is about a 25-minute webinar that just goes through what it is and how it works and what some of the dangers are and things.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, I think anybody who's considering using it, selling it, whatever, should definitely get a little up on what this stuff is, because it's not just, another fluorescent light fixture or a miracle cure or anything. It's something that you need to.
Yeah, it has to be safe. I mean, we've had some Chinese people approach us with moving light UVCs.
Yeah,
and talk about a danger. How do you control it? I mean, you got some kid on a controller hitting buttons. So there's been a lot of interest in it, and everybody's trying to jump onto the ship, but it does take a lot of time to figure it out and make sure you're doing it right, not only for your crew, but your clients.
Yeah.
And we think.
Roel, why did you ask?
I will tell next week.
You'll tell us next week. He's working on something. See you, Bob.
Always.
Marsha.
Bye, everybody. It's been fun.
Hey, Marsha.
Hi, Marshall.
It's been fun, everybody. Thanks. See you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, so I think, I don't know what you're talking about, Roel, but, to me, there needs to be, I've said it since the very beginning, and I probably said it on the first call I ever had with Act Lighting about the Luxibel stuff, is I think there need to be really smart controls that are smarter than just a motion sensor. And so, to me, that's A, an opportunity, and B, sort of a need as this stuff gets much more widespread. I just think we need something smarter than motion sensing, because if somebody falls asleep or whatever, and then they get a deadly suntan, it's probably not a good thing.
Well, the safeguard against that is if the motion sensor gets triggered, you have to power cycle the unit for it to come back on. But, I mean, there's definitely a.
Well, Brad, I will tell you, I have a small experience.
With a life safety device, you want to make sure that you have the lower amount of digital stuff. So you need controls in place, but they need to be analog and reliable.
Yeah,
I
completely agree.
I think it's a matter of not insurance, but responsibility.
Yeah.
And that it's become, if you just put out a dumb lamp, which has no intelligence inside, then it's a matter, okay, the liability is on the people who install it. And that's a big gray zone.
It will always be the liability who installed it, for sure. Even if it's the smartest light ever, if you install it wrong, you still have that danger. We've looked at stuff like remote magnetic triggers for doors, like in ballrooms, that are wireless, that can set it off or stop it if a door opens. There's so many possibilities to make it safe, and we're looking at all those opportunities to make sure we are safe and we're not liable for somebody getting hurt.
Barber, what are you up to? David Barber.
Oh, hi.
He's getting ready to go out.
Oh, I see. Oh, I thought it was like a beard, not a mask.
Amish disguise.
No, I got a call. I got boxes downstairs I got to pick up.
Oh, funny. Funny.
And this is my mask.
Yeah, I thought it was a beard. I thought it was like I thought you were trying to be Lincoln or something.
No, believe me. I'm wearing the hat because I look like Larry the Middle Stooge at this point with my hair. So.
Yeah. Well, Peter Morse, your haircut looks amazing. Marvelous.
It worked.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Homespun haircut. Homespun haircut.
Very good looking haircut. You were getting a little furry last week.
Yeah, I was.
Found her pivot. There you go.
Yeah. Looking good.
Thank
All
you.
right, folks. I, for one, have to leave.
Well, wait a minute. You're the host. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, does anyone have anything else to share or?
Yeah, you're a fun crusher. Later.
Yeah. I got to bail as well. Good to see you guys.
It's that time.
Stay safe, everyone.
Me and Gypsy.
Let's
are
bounce.
together.
See you.
Take care, everybody.
Uh-oh.
See you soon.
Again, Marcel.
See you guys.
Oh, Marcel.
Yes, Peter? I'm listening. Where the hell did he go?
He hit leave.
Peter goes, oh, Marcel, and then he
He didn't hear what he said. He said, what has a big dick, and hangs up. And then
real funny there, Patrick. All right,
Just
now that we
one
got
thing.
rid of all of them, let's just have a good conversation.
Just one thing, you all look better when you're smaller in the screen.
Patrick, by the way, my sister's on this call right now,
hey, how's it going?
and you just said something really terrible.
I know, it's horrible. Listen, I got to get to work. I'll see you guys later.
I've heard worse, Patrick. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys.
See you
Bye-bye.
guys,
Bye all.
everybody.